talks a lot. He'll keep you on your toes. It's the Eric Miranda Show. When he drank a lot, he would fight a lot. He might punch you in your nose. It's the Eric Miranda Show. There are people who would tell you he is crazy, but if you listen closely, he's unbelievable. He used to drink a lot, now he talks a lot. He'll keep you on your toes. It's the Eric Miranda, Eric Miranda, Eric Miranda Show.
Yo, 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 yo. Let me know if you can hear this because I was messing with my microphone. So I just had a friend call and check in on me. He's like, dude, what happened? You're right. I changed it by a half hour up. He's an hour behind me in Alabama. And he was worried. And I was like, you worried about that picture I posted? Like, because of that big stomach? You know what's really crazy, folks? I actually have a picture of me where I look, I think, almost as big as that picture I posted of me with the pillow. And what's crazy about it is that so like I've told all of y'all like a bunch of times that I'm addicted to food. Like, I was into like, scotch and beer and stuff when I was like a teenager, but I didn't start drinking until I was 12. I started eating when I was like brand new. You know what I mean? I remember like my sister Kelly John got an easy bake oven, and I was just like, wait, you mean you and me, just us little kids, like 8 and 6 years old, we can cook with a light bulb? You guys, what the fuck? We cooked with a light bulb, for God's sakes. So I love food. It's funny, man. Men don't want to admit to being food addicts, man. I'm telling you, I'd be in like AA meetings and I would talk about it. And like all the women would like, oh, this, like, yeah, I get it. And all the men would like, look at the floor, you fucking chumps. Man up, y'all. So obviously that picture of me was with a pillow in my stomach, the one that I posted. But I'm going to say that pizza. So I'm fasting right now. It has nothing to do with the pizza. I promise you, I don't look like that picture of the pillow. But the yeah, dude, the easy baked brownies, man, like for real. So I should have known. And then I would go to my friends' houses and like whatever they had in their refrigerator, I would like raid their refrigerator just because it wasn't like I didn't have food at home, but they would have something different. Like, my mom would buy oranges, and Jesse, who used to be on here, is his mom would buy, plums or whatever, like just whatever. Or it's like that, Ian's mom, Jessie, she used to have the cheese dogs, they were like Oscar Mayer hot dogs with the cheese in them. So instead of melting the cheese on, that shit was crazy. So, I'd raid refrigerators, and I love food. And I'm telling you right now, I'm looking at who's on here right now. And as I'm talking about this, there are certain dudes who just can't handle it. They just can't, and it's all right, man. You don't have to, I don't want to out anybody. It's none of my business. And by the way, I know people who are heavy, who aren't psychopaths about food like me. They just maybe are busy at the office, a little extra stress. So this isn't a judgment on anyone. I'm just telling you, I'm a freak around food, and I work out constantly. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, I'm mentally challenged. But let me tell y'all about the pizza last week. That pizza was a good pizza by all accounts. If I went into a pizzeria and had that Sicilian pie, I would be fine with it. But it was not the right Sicilian pie. Oh, shit, man, I'm tan. Ooh, look at me. That was not the right pie for a whole pie to eat, for me to eat a whole pie. Again, Joe's Pizza on Carmine Street has been my favorite pizzeria since, I don't know, man, in the 80s when I started going there. Wow, man, I'm getting like a little lag in my thing here. And the what happened? Where did I go, man? What is this? Where did I go? Where did I go? My computer just freaked me out. So So Joe's been my favorite because it's got that light. I'm telling you, just picture like a Krispy Kreme donut, not Krispy Kreme, a Dunkin' donut, just a plain donut with no sugar. That's what the Joe's Pizza is like. It's like legitimately like a donut. So guys, the third slice in last week, I knew I was screwed. Like the third slice in, I was in trouble because I was absolutely I didn't think I was gonna make it, guys. Honestly. I thought it was I thought I was gonna disappoint y'all. And I don't know what happened, but like somebody said, dude, you were like ready, you were fading. And then all of a sudden I looked in your eyes and I heard the Rocky music. I was like, yeah, man, that was it. But I'll never do that again. But this is the thing I want to discuss with the people watching. I want to eat something next week. Now that pizza pie, I think they're saying it's like 450 calories ish for a large slice of Sicilian. That's 9. So that's about, but that was an extremely big pie. So let's say that was about 4,500 calories. I'm thinking that, hey, what is that? Is it because I'm saying y'all? Does that sound funny from a guy? Like I'm from the South. I'm in the South Shore of Long Island, but I'm from the South. Not all the same. So I'm looking for things that are 4,500 calories. So I was like doing a little research today. So 100 pieces of sushi, like single pieces of sushi, a salmon roll is about, use guys. Hey, where you guys from? By the way, I had some friends in we're in Pennsylvania, Johnstown, Pennsylvania, and they'd say, "How yins doing?" I was like, "Yins? Where the hell did that come from? Yins?" So 100 pieces of sushi comes to about 4,500 calories. 15 McDonald's cheeseburgers comes to about 4,005. Listen to me. 100 pieces of sushi, salmon pieces, single pieces, is 4,500 calories. That's about the same as the pie. 15 McDonald's cheeseburgers. Now, the problem with the McDonald's cheeseburger for me is I haven't eaten McDonald's in 31 years. When I got sober, I put down the McDonald's. I don't know what it was, but somehow or another, maybe it was like the last hangover, something about that. They came together. They came as a team. Not eating McDonald's. Guys, the fact that this has a lag in it right now is absolutely driving me nuts. So, does anybody have any suggestions about 4,500 calories of something I can eat? And there's a friend of ours. Some of you know her. She's younger than a lot of us, but she's a model. She was a pretty big model, and she still models in her later years. We talked about it. She may come on and just dump some pizza with me at some point in the future. I'm thinking, who wants to do sushi? Is there anybody who's checking this out right now who is willing to eat 100 pieces of sushi? You go to an all-you-can-eat place. I go to an all-you-can-eat place. We broadcast from there, and you see if you could do it. So, anyway, yeah, a friend of mine, my friend John Napolitano. You know what, John? You're such a fucking prick that I'm actually going to post what you said. You ready, folks? This is my friend. This is a good friend of mine. This is a guy who I absolutely admire and adore, but he could get me canceled in a heartbeat. Here we go. Thanks, John. Thank you. I want y'all to see that. And they saw. Unfortunately, I didn't realize his son was on the poster. I wouldn't have put it up. Bro, what is up, Mr. Knapp? Anyway, so as a matter of fact, John is super keyed into food. So, John, I want to gorge on something like 100 pieces of sushi. Last week, I did a whole Sicilian pie. I got to do it every other week. I can't do that shit every week. Any suggestions? No, I'm talking sushi. I'm talking about the 6 pieces in a roll. Like, I'm talking about the individual pieces, about 48 calories per um porterhouse. That's a good suggestion. Now I need somebody I've eaten the tomahawk steak by myself. And that was like giant. I want something that's 4,500 calories that I do in one sitting, and I want somebody to come on and do it with me. Yeah, well, actually, what's funny, I made a comment that wife and I look alike, and she said to my family this weekend, she was like, "Yeah, Eric says we're starting to look alike, but I think it's because he has like a, he's grown his hair like mine." And everybody's like, "You think this is new? I've been doing this for." As a matter of fact, Lorraine Santa, who's on here, she sent a picture of me with this exact do from like 30 years ago. All right. Okay, guys, porterhouse for 2. I'll eat one with you. So we're each eating one for 2? Like we're each eating the double? Is that it? Because if that's the case, I'm in. Now, do you want to do it remotely, or do we go somewhere, go to a restaurant together and eat the porterhouse together? That's the next question. Okay, so John Napolitano, who, by the way, is way bigger than me. I mean, just like bigger, stronger. He's shredded, dangerous looking fucking motherfucker. Yeah, all right. So we're going to do it together in a restaurant. All right, that's next week's show, folks. Just so you know, next week, double porterhouse. How many ounces do you think that is, John? For a double. That's heavy duty, man. What did Ray say? You've been doing this? Yeah, of course. Since elementary. Yeah, dude. You know what's funny? By the way, just so you know, my mother always had us with long hair when we were kids. And she wasn't like a hippie or anything. She was kind of conservative and Catholic and shit. But she liked long hair. And then in the 80s, when we started cutting our hair short, she'd be like, "Why don't you kids grow your hair?" And I was like, that's a twist. All right, so 48-ounce steak, double porterhouse. That's what we're doing next week, folks. And again, if anybody wants to click in remotely and they think they can do it, now I'm not going to be taking comments as much because I'm going to be sitting with John Napolitano. You have an idea of a place, John? This is good, man. Double porterhouse next week. 48 ounces of steak. You may knee yourself in the face in the bathroom the next day. But anyway, so now the thing about porterhouse steak compared to the pizza, dude's the carbs. So I looked at my macros after I did Morton's. That's the way to go. The thing, so I looked at my macros. I'm going to read them to you, actually. So after I did, am I really going to search back a week? What was that? So that was last Thursday. What the hell is the date? So let me get to my app here. So that's all I ate that day. My macros for, hang on. My macros for the pizza, I worked out like crazy. So I only went 124% of my energy. So I went over 24% of the calories I was going to take in for the day. My protein was 105% from the cheese. My fat was 211% from the cheese. And my net carbs, I usually try to do 135 carbs a day, 317%, yo. So that's crazy. So it's interesting to eat like a, oh yeah, no, 100%. No, I can overeat steak for a purpose and stop carbs, man. It's just like the worst. But what was interesting is, and I don't know how many of you have done this. I'm sure John Knapp has done it because he and I talk nutrition all the time. He's been real helpful in helping me stay fit over the years. But when John met me, I was 235 pounds. That's why that picture of me with the pillow in my stomach, it's kind of funny and it's kind of creepy because I may find that picture and put it up on the screen, man. It was, I was 235 in like 2015. 235 pounds, and I'm only 5'6.5". So it's pretty bad. My knees hurt. My John, you're not really doing Ozempic, are you? The reason I'm asking is because I just never know with John. But anyway, so the carb, it was interesting to eat something as egregious and disgusting as a whole Sicilian pie and actually track it and look at it nutrition wise. So 300% my daily fat intake, a little bit, 24% over on my protein intake. And what did I say? What were the numbers? So yeah, 124%. So 24% over in calories, 105% of protein, 211% fat, and 317% carbs. That shit's nuts, man. Listen, man. Bigger men have said that. In fact, look, guys, I'm not even going to joke around with John. Because he may think it's funny to remind me what I said through a microphone over the air and bust me up. Elliot Kelly.
Oh, what's going on, E?
So listen, man. So my friend John and I next week, we're each going to do a double porterhouse steak from Morton's. 48
Ooh,
steak. That's some crazy stuff right there, right?
yeah, I heard last week you ate a whole Sicilian pie. How
I
you was able to do it?
I did it, man. It was look, there were like 3 or 4 burnt pieces of crust that I just couldn't chew them. So technically you could say that about 3 ounces of that shit didn't go down, but it was brutal, man, because it wasn't it wasn't like Joe's Pizza. It wasn't like John's Pizza downtown. It wasn't fluffy. It was
Oh,
good. Again, if I went into a pizzeria for 2 slices, that would be perfect because they were really dense.
mm-hmm.
But on the 3rd slice, I was like, no way, man. How am I going to do this? What's the most you have ever eaten in a single sitting? Do you know?
Pizza. I'll be honest with you. Regular pizza, maybe 3. Usually I'll be good with 2. Like
Just 2
usually good.
slices?
Yeah, like 2, 3. It's dependent. Like if you get like real pizza, you definitely could do 2 or 3. But these other pieces, they make their pie so much smaller. They're not even big, so you could probably do like a couple of them. But real slices, Sicilian, I'll go for 2.
Really, man. I mean, no, 2 is usually good for me. That's what I normally do. But I was look. So I'm trying to come up with things. As a matter of fact, I have to look up and see. All right. So hang on. Give me a second. 48 ounces of porterhouse steak. Let's see what the calories are. Cals. So we're going to look at the nutrition in that. Okay. So no horn. All right. What is this? Give me a second here, guys. Man, they're telling me how to cook steak. Everybody's telling me something, but I just want to know the calories, man.
So you just eating the steak by itself or with something?
Well, I mean, it depends. All right, so here we go. Hang on. 48 ounce. Man, it's not telling me, bro. All right. Oh shit. So it's 210 calories for 3 ounces. Is that what it's saying? All right, anyway, I got to figure this out, but we're going to do this now. John's doing it. Yeah, man, go, John. But listen, next week, I'll give you a call tomorrow. We'll arrange this. So now I got to figure out something. So what I got to figure out, I'm trying to do 4,500 calories every other week on the show. That's it.
4,500 at one setting.
Just 1,360 for a 48 ounce steak. Shit, man, that's not bad. So we got to eat something else, man. I may have to shove a potato or something in there. But anyways, no, but this is the deal, right? So there's a thing that's going on, right? I have this fear of food because I got so heavy between 2010. Yeah, I'm gonna check in on that on one of the apps, John, but we'll get that down. So I kind of developed like a fear of food. I've always liked working out, but look, man, if you're gonna eat thousands and like, I mean, look, I worked out today. I ran 6 miles. I walked 4 miles, and that was it. But I mean, I only burned 1,500 active calories. So you figure 3,000 calories for the day. I can eat 3,000 calories in ice cream in minutes. You know what I mean? Like I could eat a half gallon of ice cream, like that, like without thinking about it. So I kind of started getting afraid of food. And now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to stay fit and enjoy, because I don't, look, I tell people I have an eating disorder, but I struggle with the idea. Like I know people who go to like OA and all this other stuff, and they're like, I can never have sugar again. I'm like, dude, this isn't booze, man. Like I've never eaten a Twinkie and told a cop to blow me. So I'm not gonna cut out, I'm not cutting out all the foods. You get me?
How was your eating patterns during that time? You said between 2010 and when? What else?
Between 2010 and 2015, I was working for, as a matter of fact, the guy, John, who I'm going to eat the porterhouse steak with, he and I, he was doing some side work for a company, a medical device company, and I was working full time for the guy. And for me, I was behind a desk writing content, sales material, things like that. It was a period where I didn't do much music, and I was getting stressed. I was getting paid well, and I liked the guy I worked for. All right. 2560. So the double steak is 2,560 calories.
Damn.
So I know we're not necessarily going carbs, but I'm going to figure out something to supplement it, because I want to add 2,000 calories to that, see if I can do it, unless that's just crazy. But next week, John Napolitano and I are both eating a double porterhouse steak at Morton's. So what happened was I was stressed out. I was sitting behind the desk. I had just had a child in 2008. And, so you have that thing. And then I was a single dad because the mom and I split up. And then, like every time my daughter would eat something, like whether it was noodles, macaroni, I'm always tasting things, make sure there's not poison, whatever. I was like a tester for like a king or something. And I just got lazy. And even though I was working out like I was running like 3-4 times a week. But I was like, if I ran 5 miles, I'd eat 7 miles. You know what I mean? And I decided when I got shredded about 3.5 years ago that I can't cut food out. Oh yeah. Okay. You know what? We're doing cheesecake. You're doing the cheesecake with me, John. I know you're very particular about what you're willing to put in that. And by the way, I can't wait for you all to see John Napolitano eat this steak with me, because he's literally twice my width. How much did you bench, John? What's your max? Come on, you can brag, bro. All right. So next week we're going to do 5,000 calories between the porterhouse steak and the cheesecake. That's the Eric Miranda show next week. I can't wait. Now I'm gonna fast. I'm gonna run. I'm gonna do my thing. But and I got to tell you guys something. Like I have a food show. I have a bunch of episodes in queue ready to launch. But I'm thinking, instead of doing the food show like everybody else, I may just want to start doing the food show, not food reviews, but just live overeating. Food porn is a real, it's a real thing, man. People, like I watch like different people, men, women, young, pretty girls, old hack men on these videos. They're just shoving food in their face. And I love it. I'm just like, by the way, guys, I am addicted. And this is maybe where I lose some of you, but my daughter and I watched My 600-Pound Life a bunch of times. And the first season was really amazing, because there's one woman who lost like hundreds and hundreds of pounds. And then she ended up working for the doctor, and she stayed fit. And now she's like a counselor and stuff. She's amazing. But then the second season, they just started showing the surgery. They didn't stay with the people. I like following the journey. So we started watching 1,000-Pound Sisters. Do you guys know that show? So 1,000-Pound Sisters, it's Amy and Tammy. Why am I forgetting their name? Slater. Anyway, these two girls. So they start off The one sister's like 5 and change, and the smaller sister was like 4, high 4s, and they like so some people have watched a few episodes. I don't want to blow it, but all I'm going to tell you is their journey. The one woman who was suffering the most, she went up to 765 at one point.
Wow.
And before she got the gastric bypass surgery, she actually got down to like 535. So without help from surgery, she was down over 200 pounds. I thought that was amazing. And you see the mentality change over time, where she went from a victim mindset where everything, why are you doing this? And then when she realized, so she had a problem where she almost died. She was in the hospital. They had to put a trach in her. Then she went into like a nursing home, not a nursing home, but some kind of facility for people with her condition. And when she realized that she was going to die and have to check out on her nephews and all this other stuff, people she cared about, and the whole family's involved. When she realized that, she was like, oh shit, I can't blame anyone. And she loses from that moment in season 4 to the end of season 5. I mean, I think she's in the 200s now. Like I see her on Instagram. But it's the mental fortitude. So I'm going to tell y'all a secret, and this may be boring to some of y'all, but I'm just being honest with you. I sat right in my chair. See, that purple dinosaur is on an easy chair, and I should probably put it on the wall permanently, but I think Sheila would kill me if I just drill into my nice brick wall with screws to put a purple dinosaur up there. But I'm going to tell y'all, I sat in that recliner at 225 pounds for a year, and every morning I would do an affirmation about getting down to a lean, healthy 170 pounds, and I couldn't believe it. That was the problem. I did not believe that I could do it. So every time I would, by the way, I just realized Alice Rowland, who jumped in. What are you doing up so late, lady? You're in England. I love it. I love it. So Alice Rowland is she's in Northern England. You're in Northern, right? I mean, I know you're from Northern England, but I'm assuming you live there. But anyway, so Elliot, I didn't believe in my soul that I could come down in weight. And yeah, now, Lori, you were saying, are you really like a nutrition coach? I mean, a trainer? Yeah. So you're in Manchester. You're in Manchester. Manchester. Yeah. So right. So where I know Alice Rowland from is about 2.5 hours north of where she lives. Oh, cool, man. I'm gonna get into that with Corey in a minute. But
Eric, I wanted to ask you a question.
Yep.
So, how do you feel about that gastric bypass surgery?
Well, I know it's helpful. I have a couple of friends who have gotten it, but the thing is, what it does is it makes you full, right? Oh, look at you. You have your thumb up, and it made the thumb on the screen. That's pretty funny because you're on your phone. Dude, do double thumbs, man. No, do 2 thumbs, man. Watch what happens. Put them both up at once. If you put them both in front of the screen at once, you get like fireworks and shit.
Oh, shit. Let me see.
Yeah, you got to do both of them. Yeah, it's a little tricky.
Oh.
Anyway, so I didn't believe I could lose the weight, and that was the problem. So every time I would, this is why I don't do comments normally. All right, so I know Alice Rowland from Northern England. She's in Manchester. Lori Montanino said, yes, she's a personal trainer. So I would sit in that chair and I would do an affirmation every morning in my meditation. And I did not believe. I was like, I'm 54 years old, 55 years old. It's not going to happen. Then you talk to people your age who gained weight and they're like, oh, dude, what are you worried about, man? You're in your 50s. What do you expect? And then during the pandemic, I'm going to show y'all a picture. I have to do it because it's kind of crazy, but um, oh, sometimes this stupid thing doesn't let me show the pictures because because mine aren't JPEG. There's some other thing, but anyway, the picture that I saw was I was doing a video with I don't know how many of you remember that woman Katie Huffman came on the Broadway, the actress, Tony Award winner, blah blah. She and I were doing a video here during the pandemic because she would, she wasn't working live, so she was getting paid to do these great videos. So we did a Christmas song, and I'm looking at myself playing drums, right, with brushes, nice and easy, jazzy, right here in my living room, and I'm recording it multi-track into Pro Tools, and the camera's on us. And when I went around the camera to press the Pro Tools button, I saw the video of me hunched over, and my belly looked like the belly in the picture that I posted. And I was horrified. For some reason, at that moment, it was so painful to look at myself. I would not have recognized myself. I thought I looked normal, or not normal. I thought I looked closer to what I am now. I had like this kind of, and when I saw that picture, I was like, oh my God. And then I realized I made a call the next day to a person who worked for this company called Profile. And I got on their program, and I was already exercising, and I was increasing the exercising. And in 4 months, I went from almost 230 to 170 in 4 months.
Wow.
And it was because I believed it. Because if I didn't believe it could happen, I wouldn't have spent the money on the program. I wouldn't have dude, there were nights when I started off at 1,100 calories. I wouldn't have been able to discipline myself. I was eating like 8 almonds for a snack at night. I looked like a squirrel. I'm like, and that was my food. Thanks, Alice. Thank you. I know that you've done some kick-ass stuff yourself, so I commend you. So, but it was the belief system. And this is the thing, right? People who come from poverty, who don't believe they're going to be a homeowner, people who come from a family of overweight people, if they get into a victim mentality, or they just think this is normal, or F you, or and they start to resent people who make a comment about their weight, etc., we get into a victim mindset. And my victim mindset was I spent my 20s, 30s, and most of my 40s fit, and it's over now because I'm in my 50s. It was like, it's too late. It's over. Even in my late 40s, I got my maximum. I was like 48 on my maximum weight. And I had to believe that I could do something about it. So when I saw that picture, the affirmations every day for a year, and my affirmation was simply this: I am a lean, healthy 170 pounds. 4 months after I started this journey, I got on a scale for an insurance policy, and I was 170 on the dot. And then they said, we have to check your blood work, because they thought I lost all that weight so quickly because I was dying of something. So ironically, but the point is, I just doubled down. And if you want to achieve something, whether it's getting to play with a famous singer, of a famous band, because I got to play with the biggest of the big, if it's a weight loss journey, if it's starting a charity to help people, if it's a new career, it's like, there's a doctor in my building. He's telling me he's literally in his 70s. He's like, yeah, I'm thinking of going to law school. You know what I mean? He knows what that's going to take, and he's not, yeah, Lori, me too. I am in the best shape of my life. I have pictures of me at this weight when I was in my late 20s. I did not have the tone in my muscles. I didn't have the six pack. I was just I wasn't strong. So I agree with that. So whatever it is that people are going to do, especially with food, because food is kind of a thing where some people are heavy and they live long lives. Some people are, run and they're lean and they drop dead. So we trick ourselves into all this stuff. But the one thing that I noticed, starting with me and with a lot of people around me, is that when I graze, and I use the term graze because sometimes I'll just be at a party. I was at a party. I was at my sister-in-law. Some of you know Minerva Gutierrez, my brother Adam's wife. I was in Texas at her 60th birthday party. And I walked in. I was kind of, hang on one second. Marcus, I'm on the show. Call Sheila. So I got to Texas. We got to this party, and there was just like bowls of like chocolate covered cashew nuts and cheese and dips and I literally just kind of went like without thinking, unconsciously. When I tracked the pizza, I'm like, I had to look at it to see what it was. But I'll get on a food thing and people, and I, starting with me, will say, oh, I don't eat that much. It's like, bro, I just saw you eat 1,600 calories of Ritz crackers. You ate the whole box. Or somebody like, oh, I'm eating almonds. They're healthy. Yeah, they are healthy. But a bag is 2,600 calories for the big, So for me, I was not conscious of what I was eating. And then a big mistake people make, that's exactly, food can be your medicine or your poison. The thing about healthy foods, I played a show, an off-Broadway show that I created with this woman, and she and her girlfriend were vegan. And the main actress in the show, she was like, why am I gaining weight? I'm vegan. It's like, yeah, because there's no animal protein in that box of noodles you ate for lunch, but there are 3,500 calories in it. So people equate different foods with health. You know what I mean? You need healthy fats. I love avocado. I eat cheese, right? But if I decide to eat 6 avocado a day, I'm probably asking for trouble because they're high in fat and they're high in calories, So I think the unconscious nature of the way we eat. So what I'm doing now, I'm trying to improve by, I'm going to overeat. I'm going to eat luscious things like cheesecake and steak next week with John Napolitano. I want to be aware of what it is. As long as I say, okay, I'm doing a show, I'm going to eat it on the show, or there's a party 2 weeks from Tuesday that I'm going to. If I'm conscious of what I'm eating and I'm aware of what I'm taking in, it doesn't get so crazy. When I just ignore it, then I'm like, what the fuck? What the heck? So I don't know if anybody has an experience like this. Let me know, because I want to know, first of all, that I'm not crazy, even if I am. So Elliot, do you have any habits like that?
So I go up and down. I had this struggle for years. I know what it is to do extreme diets. I never been one, what I find interesting what you was talking about with counting calories. And I wanted to ask you, I think you were saying that when you were doing that diet for 4 months, when you went from 225 or 230 to 170, you said you was consuming no more than 1,100 calories that
Yep.
a day. And so that's a deficit to what was your max when you was binging in your weight? How much you would say calories you was eating a day? Like 5,000?
I would say it would fluctuate throughout the week, but probably on average, in order for me to be, I was 70 pounds overweight. If you look at where I came from at 235 to now, right?
Gotcha.
So 75 pounds, that's 3,500 calories per pound. So it was like over 200 and change extra calories that I took in over a few year period. So yeah, it had to be an average. My base metabolic rate, my BMR, if I stay in bed, I burn a little less than 1,600 calories for the day. By the time I'm done walking around and just doing general stuff without working out, I'm at around 1,800. And then if I work out, I'm at like 2,500. So I had to be eating minimally on average 3,500 calories a day, but sometimes way more to do that.
Do you feel like, I feel like, which I'm trying to do right now is just be conscious of what I'm doing, conscious of, what I'm eating. My thing was always to stay away from the carbs. And then something you said, that you brought a point that a nutritionist had told me. She was like, trying to eat like some peanuts for a snack instead of maybe, eating maybe some chips or something like that. And then she said, well, you got to count that because X amount has so many calories. So if you keep eating all that, you don't realize that you add in so much calories, even though you're trying to be healthier.
Right. Yeah. No, it's again, so now this is the other thing too. And I try to explain this to, to my kids and everything else. It's like, if I eat potato chips, I'm not going to be sustained from potatoes. So if I have to eat 2,000 calories a day, if it's 2,000 calories of potato chips, there's no protein in it. It's not good fat. It's just basically salt and carbs, right? So
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna go off the rails with that, right? And I think people, I'm getting comments and stuff. I think people they want to talk about overeating. They don't want to talk about control. All right, motherfuckers, I'm eating cheesecake and steak next week. All right, how's that? All right, is that enough? I'm gonna eat 5,000 calorie meal with John Napolitano. I think John Napolitano once benched 485 pounds, by the way.
Oh, wow.
The guy's like an insane beast. But the point is, the unconscious eating for me and the eating the wrong macros is the other thing. Because if I can, I'm totally going for it. Are you going to be on next week, Lori? Because I'm going to eat a double porterhouse steak, which is a little under 3,000. And then I think John and I are going to split a cheesecake. So, but if I eat proper macros, in other words, if I get enough protein, get enough healthy fat, and get the proper amount of carbs, that amount of food can last me more than the day. It's when I don't eat, when I don't get healthy fat, when I don't get, sometimes I can do a carb deficit without a problem. But when I don't get healthy carbs, fat, and it just gets like, I just run out of gas, especially when I'm working out hard, So,
Eric, which one is harder to resist, carbohydrates or sweets?
well, sweets are carbohydrates, right?
Yeah,
So,
but the boy, which is like which poison? I say.
oh, well, look, see, to me, and again, there are people on here who know more about this than I do, but if you eat pasta, that shit's breaking down, just regular white flour pasta. It's breaking down into sugar. You know what I mean?
Sugar,
There's no,
straight up.
it's
Straight up.
processed. Right. So it's going to spike your glycemic. See, sugar, like, a piece of cheesecake may go a little harder, a little faster, but, so for me, if I eat cake, like if I eat a piece of cake before I go to bed, I'll fall asleep. If I eat a piece of cake first thing, like I'm fasting right now, I haven't eaten since last night, I'm fine. If I would have eaten, let's just say like some white, like let's just say that I had a bacon, egg, and cheese for breakfast, on a white roll. There's no way I would have lasted this long into the day without eating, because it goes boop and it just spikes. And as it's coming down, I get that like, I need more. So if I eat shitty food in the morning, I'm dead. If I were to eat a piece of cheesecake first thing in the morning, I'm dead. So if I could choose between pasta and cheesecake, it's almost the same thing for me. Like, I would enjoy the cheesecake more, but they would both make me just want to go and overeat, And a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people like who eat breakfast, they're like, oh my God, I could never go the whole day. I could never go 48 hours without food. And I'm like, have you ever tried it? And like, no, if I don't eat lunch, I'm like cranky and I'm falling asleep. I'm like, yeah, but you ate breakfast, right? So they'll eat, bang, goes up. And what happens is when you're fasting, the glycogen stores, you have stored energy in your body. In the absence of food, you start to release the glycogen and you get energy from it and you get focus. So it's, it's like it's a pervasive thing. And all right, now we need to talk about some more fun stuff. Never mind dieting. What's up with you, Elliot Kelly? How are the kids?
No, not. Yeah, the kids are good. We here, getting ready for, summer's almost over. Came back
Elliot
from
Jr.'s going to
vacation.
college.
Yeah, he's leaving tomorrow. We having a get together tomorrow.
Where's that? You didn't.
At
How
my
come
house. I've been sent you the invite.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going to talk to
Yeah.
Marcus. I think we have to be there.
Yeah. So, and then We're gonna have some of that stuff that you like.
Oh yeah, well, I'm fasting at least till tomorrow at 8 p.m.
Okay.
And that's another thing, man. When I break the fast, like, so the woman who helped me out with that initial, 60 pounds or 50 something pounds in that initial 4 months, she was like, you get like, so I'll just go. So when I ate the pizza last week, getting back to the pizza, y'all, when I ate that pizza, I fasted for 2 days, got under 161 pounds. And then I had to eat on Wednesday, because if I wouldn't have eaten on Wednesday, if I would have fasted right up to the pie, I would have been dead. Your stomach like legitimately shrinks. And when you were talking about the gastric bypass earlier, when people get the gastric bypass, their stomach, they shrink, they surgically remove part of their stomach so they get full quicker. But some people like me, they're crazy and they just keep eating until they blow the thing out again. Because
But
I don't eat because I'm hungry. I eat because I'm addicted to food. I eat for the effect of sugar.
facts.
Right. Look, since
But
I haven't drank in 31 years, my kids have literally seen me slur my words because I've just shoved like, I'll tell you my go-tos when I'm, ice cream's always my first go-to, best, right? Chocolate ice cream, strawberry ice cream, vanilla ice cream, butter pecan, love it. My second go-to is, do you guys know that Havala? Is that what it's called? It's like made of soy, I think. It's like a Middle Eastern candy. It's chalky and sweet, crazy. That's another go-to of mine. Payday bars, that nougat and peanut bar, and Reese's peanut butter cups.
oh,
Those four things, man. I can go to town on that. I could literally eat. See, now 5,000 calories of that stuff, that'll take me 15 minutes. That's easy, man. Like those payday bars are like 250. Yeah, maybe I couldn't eat 20 of them like in 20 minutes, but I can eat, like, you know what I mean? You give me Reese's, like, you give me candy and cake, the calorie content is so high and I get like stoned from it and I'll just keep shoving it in my mouth. Man, I'm getting some weird comments. Y'all don't want to admit this shit. That's what it is.
no, I agree with you. You know, Eric, I was considering doing the surgery, but I can't do that to my body. And you know, the thing about it is that I noticed, like, with a couple of my coworkers that had it done, if you don't change it up here, you'll go back to, like, even with the surgery and you'll gain the weight back.
Right.
And you know, and so you know, you go do that. I think that it has to be up here. You have to be
Right.
consciously aware, you know, and like, and I'm saying, like, wow, like, yo, look what I'm doing, and this is why where I'm at right now. So
Right. Well, in 600-pound life, and by the way, just so everybody knows, I saw Elliot make a comment on the thing. I did not have Elliot come on here because he was considering the surgery when we're talking about food, just so you know.
hey, that just happened to pop up, and I just
That just
thought of
happened to be what it is, right? But now the Slater sisters, the 1,000-pound sisters, that's the name, Tammy and Amy Slater. And the 600-pound life, the Dr. Nowzowski, whatever his name is, that guy's awesome. He, they, hang on a second. Hang on one second. I just want to put this up really quickly. Thank you, Corey. I just want to say to Corey, I'm going to put some of that. So this is no, it's totally cool with my ADHD. Just so y'all know, one of the things I'm doing in addition to this show is I'm going to be doing guitar tutorials, just lead guitar. I'm not getting into whole songs. I just see a lot of people playing Brian May, Jimmy Page, David Gilmour. They're playing it almost correct, and these guys are getting a bunch of views. And I just want people to know that if they really want to dig deeper. So I'm going to be doing guitar tutorials, and I'm going to be talking about it on here too. It is funny how I don't talk about music much, and it's actually what I do. And by the way, I have to blame Lori Montagnino because she convinced me to play Stairway to Heaven last week. My hands were swollen from all the carbs I ate. I mean, I was drunk on carbs. I was literally like, and I looked back at it. I'm like, oh my God, I'm a professional musician. People won't hire me if they see that. I'm going to have to take it down. So the now Lorraine said the gastric bypass is no joke. Avoid it if you can. Yeah, it's a heavy. I mean, they're taking out part of your stomach,
Yeah.
and and you're under the knife for a while. I mean, there's always risk involved. But the one thing I was going to say about the Slater sisters and Dr. Now on 600 Pound Life. Wow, I can't believe I'm actually talking about this stuff. Is that they won't do the surgery. They'll give people a weight loss goal before they do the surgery. So sometimes they'll tell somebody, you got to lose 150 pounds on your own or 75 pounds on your own, depending on the size, because they want people to understand that the battle isn't over after the surgery. In other words, if you can't, a lot of people go to, I don't know how many of the people on these shows go to like 12-step programs like OA and different food programs. I'm sure some of them do, and properly because of the traditions of 12-step programs. They don't talk about it on the show, but the reality is they're being taught to control the impulse to overeat before they get the surgery, because you can blow that lap band out, man. Your stomach will re-stretch. So if I were you, and you and I could talk about this off the air, you should make a plan to see what you can do. See, the thing that was interesting about Tammy Slater is she lost over 200 pounds. And while I applaud that now she's down, she was 765 and she's in the 200s now. So she's like almost 500-pound weight loss. Now that's with the surgery. But my thing is, after she lost 200 and change, I'm wondering if I would do the surgery, if I would try to see if I could just come down completely without the surgery. You know what I mean? Like, she was doing so well that it almost seemed weird to me that she opted in for the surgery before she went as far as she could on her own. You know what I'm saying? Puppy. What are you doing? You know what I mean? So it's crazy stuff, right? Man, this got somber. I know you guys want to see me eat pizza and be funny. I'm funny. All right, Elliot, as a man of color, I'm working on a routine. You're a comedian. Tell me what you think, all right? Now, you got to tell me, not if you think it's funny, because I don't have it all tight yet, but you got to tell me if it's racist and if I'm going to get canceled. You ready?
Okay.
So I'm going to say yeah, so, I go see all these great comedians and I love comedy, but the thing that would make me scared, and you all know I've done stand-up, and obviously this is going to be in the stand-up routine, but I'm going to say, every time these guys work the room, they ask people where they're from, they say where they're from, and the comedian always knows about the place that people are from. They're like geniuses at geography. I'm afraid to do that because I suck at geography. My teacher in grammar school, Mrs. Kilimanjaro, she would berate me. She'd say, "What's the capital of Austria?" I'd say, "Siena." She'd say, "Vienna." She'd say, "What's the western capital of Western Australia?" And I'd say, "Perth Amboy." She'd say, "That's in New Jersey." She would just kill me, right? She asked me one question, and because my dad had a friend from West Africa, I knew the answer. She said, "Mudabi is the capital of which African nation?" And in my excitement, I yelled out, "Niger." But I was so excited that I accidentally pronounced it with an extra G. She said, "What are you, a comedian?" I said, "If only I were better at geography." Anyway, the quality is the Niger thing. Am I going to get canceled for that?
You're going to get canceled for that.
I'm gonna?
Yeah, if you saying it with the extra G.
But I'm not going to pronounce it with the extra G, but I'm going to say, but I may have pronounced it with the extra G, so people know that I said it. What do you think? Am I skating a dangerous line here?
Oh, man, you skating, man. You skating. You sliding down a razor blade to a pool of alcohol. You trying to what they say?
Wait, what did you just say? You're skating down.
You sliding down a razor blade to a pool of alcohol.
Oh my God, man! Really? Mm-hmm. So how come you don't cancel me for that stuff?
Who, me?
Yeah, how come you don't cancel me?
Nah, that's just me because I know you. But other people, they might tell you. They might, just don't do that. Don't tell that joke. You gonna
listen. I gotta tell you something. So I work with Wavy Wayne, the Pro Tools guru, and I'm in a producers group with these guys. and there's 3 white guys and like 15 men of color, and they try to get us to drop the N word all the time. They think it's funny. They're like, "Come on, man, we know what you want to say." I'm like, "No." I'm like, "I'm
Well,
never gonna do it."
that's what that guy said. That's an old term too. That color is going with the Niger. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't know, but anyway, so Lorraine Santa just said something about short gut syndrome if you're considering surgery. Do you know anybody who's had
What
this
she said?
surgery? She said Google short gut syndrome
Google short.
if you're ever considering surgery. So,
Mm.
what is short gut syndrome? I don't
I
know.
gotta Google that.
Yeah, you got to Google that right now. I can't do it live right now, but anyway, so all right. Anyway, next week we're doing a steak, and I got to announce this like right away. I got to put this up. I'm going to eat a double porterhouse steak and a half a cheesecake next week, which means I have to be totally disciplined. So if we do get to your place for the going away party tomorrow, I can't overeat, dude, because I got to be Mac Daddy for next week. Because if I'm not lean enough to do it, like if I'm bloated and like close to 170, I'm not going to do it. I got to be on the low end. You know what I mean? So anyway, so y'all listen, I don't know why this got so serious. I was going to talk about all the funniness of pizza and like guys, and I didn't throw up. And I will tell you that at the end, people on the show, Elliot, they saw me. I chewed the last 2 bites for like 5 minutes each. It just wouldn't go anywhere. It was like the pizza was up to my neck.
So you ate a whole pie.
I ate a whole because I might die. By the way, I kept asking Lori, who's a trainer, if I was going to die from eating, and she was laughing. And some people like, oh, by the way, I just want to let y'all know, I thought I looked better with the sunglasses on. It's just that I can't see how ugly I am through the tint. So I do have eyes. So anyway, so I had people on here saying, dude, don't be a wimp. Like Lori, don't be a wimp. And then Rose Fantosi's like, dude, stop. Why are you doing this to yourself? And everything in between. Some people like, dude, eat that pizza. Don't be a sissy. And other people are like, why would anybody eat that whole pizza? And I think it comes from whatever their personal relationship with food is, you know? But next week's going to be tough. Half a cheesecake and a 48-ounce steak.
Wait, when you say half the cheese, you talk about from a whole cheesecake?
A whole cheesecake, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because I need to get up to 5,000 calories or it's not like, I got to do something. If I'm going to make an issue of staying fit and overeating, it's got to be epic, right?
Okay. And I guess the way you are, you're strict anyway, so it's not bad to binge once in a while.
Well, this is what I'm saying. So I think once every 2 weeks. Now, by the way, leading up to the pizza last week, I went out to dinner with my brother Adam, who was in town, his wife, my nephew Kirk, my nephew Garrett, all the wives, all the kids, my kids, Sheila. And I ate a bowl of pasta and a pork chop that when I ordered this thing, I said to my nephew, I said, because he eats in this restaurant a lot, I said, is this going to fill me? He's like, oh, yeah, dude, it was like literally, how big can a pork chop be? This thing must have been 15 ounces, you know?
Wow.
So anyway, so next week, now listen, anybody, is it worth feeling like shit? Yes. Is anybody willing to come on from your location and eat a 48-ounce steak with me? Because I'm going to be with John in person.
I got to Google what a 48-ounce steak look like.
It's a double. I know I can. Yeah, like really. No. Is it worth it? So the question is it worth feeling like shit afterward? You know, the truth is, I felt like shit towards the end of the pizza last week. Like the last 2 slices were brutal, but I felt fine the next day. Like I really did, because it was kind of like, you know, when they take like a cyst out of someone's neck and it ends up being like this big, like they'll take like you know what I mean? it was like that, only it was the reverse. It was like, wait a minute. Instead of taking something bigger than me out of me, I put something bigger than me. Because if you look at a pie, right? If you look at that large Sicilian pie, it's not as wide as me, but it's kind of my size, right? As a matter of fact, instead of having a 6-pack, I'm going to come out with like 9 slices. I'm going to have a 9-pack. But the thing is, it was weird. So I'm looking in the mirror. I'm like, okay, Eric, you have body dysmorphia. So my mind wanted to tell me that I was like huge, like in the picture of me with the pillow. But I'm looking at myself. I wouldn't get on the scale. I didn't want to see like 5, 6 extra pounds from one meal. But I literally looked in the mirror. I was like, you know what, Eric? No matter what your brain tells you, you didn't get bigger. And once I kind of accepted that mentally, I was golden. I didn't, you know what I mean? I didn't freak out. So it wasn't, I think the guilt is what gets me when I overeat. Like waking up the next, especially with the sugar. The sugar make me shake a little bit. But you know what I mean? You get guilt about that stuff when you overeat, Elliot?
Yeah, I mean, it's especially, especially when I know my body's telling me I should stop. Like, especially like, and I'm realizing there's a lot of times, like right now, this morning I had a protein shake, I drank the juice, and then I had one meal, but my brain is trying to tell me like, you only had that one meal, you should eat again. And I'm fine.
Yeah.
And so if I eat right now, I know I shouldn't eat. It's just because I'm just unconsciously being greedy.
Right.
It's like I don't need like I'm not hungry where I'm getting a headache. And I wanted to ask you, how long do you what's the longest you ever fast for how many days?
For me, it was 70 to 80, 84 hours, which is like evening for so 3 days and then till the next morning. And
What was
what was
was
that?
it like a high? Somebody told me it was like
Yeah.
a high.
You definitely get to a point at certain point, like, so I fasted 72 hours with my 2 nephews recently, and we're
Hmm.
all in different locations. And my nephew, we were all working out during it too. Like I was doing pretty heavy, like jujitsu and stuff. And it was, like I'd be cranky at certain points in the day. And then I would take like a little, they recommend that you take like a little teaspoon every few hours of flaxseed. So it ends up being like 100 calories a day or something like that. But so I was drinking lemon water. I was doing a little bit of flaxseed, and then I'd get done working out and I would feel high because it's like, again, the glycogen. Remember, people were hunting in the wild and they'd be out there for days, thousands of years ago without catching anything. As their body started to burn the fat, it would actually make them more alert. So you definitely get this wild high from it, but it's not
Like
constant.
euphoric. Like you just
It's euphoric. Yeah, it's not like, I wouldn't say that like tomorrow I'm gonna be at tomorrow morning I'm gonna be at the 30 something hour mark, whatever. And then as I get to the 48-hour mark tomorrow evening, that it'll be euphoric, but I can definitely get cranky. If I'm busy, if I'm playing paddleball, if I'm working out, if I'm walking, I'm fine. But if I'm in the house doing tedious stuff like office stuff and spreadsheets or whatever, tedious editing in music, then I'll get cranky. But if you're on the move, if you're out doing stuff, it can be euphoric for sure.
okay,
So
gotcha.
cool,
Sounds
man.
good.
All right, listen. Next week, 48-ounce steak with John Napolitano, and he's outrageous, dudes. So you don't know what's coming. I may have to censor him. He's not politically correct, and he doesn't give a shit who thinks so. So I'm just letting y'all know that. So 5,000 calories, porterhouse steak, double. Anybody joining me? Anybody have the courage to say they're going to get to a steakhouse and call in? I will send you the link. Anybody? What do we got? Anybody? This is going to be good. All right. Peace out, everyone. Thanks, Elliot. Good to see you.
You too.
All right.